And I just have to wonder, is there a more simple way of developing this game that is
Yes.
a lot more just optimized towards getting content out for players?
Yes, there is. I think I've got a good way I think of explaining it, in that they continually as a team look for a silver bullet.
Yeah,
When
they
realistically, they just need to use a lot of bullets. Instead of trying
Riddle
to craft,
me.
instead of trying to craft this perfect, like, this will solve all of our problems in one go, they're just like, nah, just throw stuff at us. It's like, another way I would sort of explain it is, it's like everything has to be on this path. There's this journey, and everything has to fit on this, like, preordained path that they have set up. Whereas whenever you're in Legion and you see the Mage Star, that's not part of this path. That is World of Warcraft. That's a little side dot.
Yeah,
that you
that's
just
what
go
made
off
it
and do,
awesome.
and that's basically it. World of Warcraft is, as it stands, mostly a singular path that you're just kind of trundling down. You're doing stuff on that path, but it feels like it's on this path. And then anytime something comes to the side, it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's not on this path. This is more interesting by nature of not being part of the done thing. So just, like, the solution is to use a lot of bullets to dot off the side of the path with as many things as humanly possible. Stop caring about how it fits into an overall solution. Stop caring about, like, if it's good enough, or if it fits into the overarching lore, or, like, teases little bits of expansions. Just go, oh yeah, this doesn't matter. It's like me and Jared were talking about in the office earlier. It's like, why can't you just get a load of people to rebuild a section of Gilneas and put a murder mystery in it? Doesn't have to be tied to lore or tied to another expansion. Just, here's a murder mystery in Gilneas. Go do that for an evening.
Yeah.
Do that. Figure out how long it takes to make that, and then make 30 of those. And look at that, you've got like a year of content. Obviously, that would take time and effort. You know, you'd want to balance it versus the actual game's progression. But the principle's there. Just make stuff for us to do.
So I think a way you could explain that is one-shot content.
Yeah.
As in, it's just a thing over there, go do, if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, maybe we're going to get known for food analogies in this stream.
Yes.
But a bit of it here is, Blizzard is always trying to craft the set menu.
Yeah.
Right? And I think for a lot of people, they just want an awesome a la carte menu where, you know, they enter the restaurant, they're like, all right, sweet. I want this, and this. That's quite a lot of orders from a restaurant. Whereas now it's more like you enter World of Warcraft and the set menu is placed in front of you, and it's like, you've got 2 dessert options, 3 main... No, you've got 2 starter options, 3 main options, 2 dessert options, and that's that. You know, where it just feels like they're just trying to make that perfect track instead of just being like, hey, here's Azeroth, lots of stuff in it. And the reason why we're bringing this up in relation to what Towley had mentioned about his Blizzard contact is that it is, I think, the belief of the pair of us that the current way the game is being made, with all of these systems, and etc., is such that it is more complex, that more balancing is required, and that more fine-tuning of details is needed in order for content to be shippable. Because right now, one soulbind is way too powerful because of a bug, and suddenly we have a massive issue. You know, they're doing domination gear for the new raid. So I assume for some reason they have decided that they really need to just spunk up the raid gear.
Yeah.
And I'm now thinking, okay, fair enough. But raid gear feels okay after the 33% increase and all of that jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm cool with domination gear, but it's like, how much time is that taking them? Yeah. How much complexity is that added? How hard is it to balance the various different classes along with this domination gear? What is that system? What is it like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but corruptions. How much time do they have to spend around 8.3 doing corruptions during PTR? And then how much time, when they were obviously developing Shadowlands, did they have to spend making a currency to put into the game, so that people could actually earn corruptions. And all of the things they did to change 8.3 such that multiple months into patch 8.3, it was a vastly superior experience to what it was at launch. But obviously, they only have so many people. So all of that time that was spent making patch 8.3 better, well, that took away from Shadowlands development time.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why did they need to put all that work into making 8.3 better? Oh, because corruption stuff was so complex and hard to balance and all of that stuff that they obviously couldn't get it to be good by the time launch happened. So they had to keep on developing the patch for months after it came out.
Yeah.
And that obviously would have hurt Shadowlands a bit.
Yeah, they made their life significantly harder for themselves by virtue of the direction they took.
Yeah.
Which brings me on to something, but first I'll say Shadowlands has very little content. They had to work really hard on 8.3 after it was out and 8.2 after it was out. Legion had probably the most content of almost any expansion released, and that's because they just cut Warlord short and give it the full hog of everything.
Yeah.
But my point on direction is, it's like, because I keep trying to reconcile, like I keep trying to reconcile this in my head, where I'm like, obviously, the systems people are working on those systems, so there's nothing inherently stopping the quest designers, the people who write quests, implement them, keep them going. What's stopping them? What's holding them back? What's not letting them make content? And I think from the look on your face, I think I know what you're gonna say. Go for it.
What if it would disrupt the season?
That's actually not what I was.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I wasn't actually thinking that. I was thinking direction. I use that word very, very intentionally.
Okay.
And this isn't to like cast any shade on anyone who's working at Blizzard, but if the game director is focusing on all of these systems, and he's very involved in them, obviously based on like the conversation with Mike, he's very, very like on the ground with a lot of those. So every second he's spending trying to fix like systems up on that are like super focused on those and trying to solve all those problems and guiding them himself as someone who's like came from that background.
Yeah.
All
those
of
are
that,
real problems, and he's almost certainly the man for the job.
Yeah.
Like as his expertise.
100%. But all of that time he's spending there, like and this is an entirely hypothesis of mine, is all that time spent there holding back other people from going, hello, director, we have all this stuff, can we go ahead, can we sit down with you and get this planned out? I'm wondering, is that fundamentally is that why all of the system stuff is taken away from other content, even though fundamentally if you look at like a team it shouldn't? I
think a way to maybe frame that could certainly lead to a discussion that could go off the rails less is more about institutional focus.
Yes, yeah, that's
where I do feel like the institutional focus of Blizzard is more systems than it really ever has been in the past, and I think that does disrupt the game.
Yeah.
And I think it happened because there was large success with the Legion expansion.
Yeah.
And, there are those of us, I think I'm one of those people. I know that you are because we were having those conversations at that time. Preach is another one of those people. Yep. There were loads of us during Legion who were, saying that things were issues. I remember it was a video I did about legendaries that... funny enough, it's not too dissimilar what I proposed to some of what we've got now. But I remember doing this video about the problem with launch legendaries and being slaughtered for going against the orthodoxy that Legion was the second coming that had saved World of Warcraft. And in many ways it did. And it was awesome. And there was so much content. And even though I did have frustrations with AP and the Legos and stuff, the Legos from a gameplay and balancing perspective, like there was lots of content associated with all that jazz that I could go and do, and that was all awesome. But I feel like getting all of those systems and really focusing on them paid such humongous dividends for the team during the Legion expansion that a bunch of lessons that were learnt that were obviously catastrophic the second it was BFA and things didn't turn out as well as they thought they did. And we're now in a situation where they tried to again make everything systemic, and what they've done is they've made it that, as we said in the previous stream, where you would go and you'd unlock your Legion artifacts by going and doing, more unique, bespoke activities. Now, if you want cosmetic stuff, you grind the same homogeneous currency, and that's that.
Yeah.
So by making the cosmetic systemic as a part of your covenant, all behind that currency, they've made it such that, unlocking the 50,000 anima mount or unlocking the cool armor set is all just grinding world quests. It's not, oh yeah, you go and do that thing for that faction and get that thing. It's less unique. It's that big move into the systems.
Yeah.
And as we go here, it's like, you can make all the content in the world for patch 9.1, but if you are making a game that fundamentally has to have all its things tied together under these big systems, those systems are going to be blockers. And I think it is fair to say that Blizzard have got worse at shipping content over time.
Almost certainly, yeah.
They have versus Legion. They have versus Mists of Pandaria.
Of course, yeah.
So it's like, what's changed? And I think some design direction has changed.